So today I want to show you how to create KPIs in Tableau and make a simple dashboard out of it. So let's jump straight into it. As you can see, I have the sample superstore loaded into Tableau via an Excel file, and we are using the orders. You can download this file if you don't already have so from Tableau website. I'm using Tableau public desktop, so everybody can follow me along in exactly what I'm doing here. So I loaded the orders into my data. The orders is the only data set I'm looking at in this scenario. So let's go into a worksheet. Let's call this profit KPI. A KPI, not KPO, KPI. So there we have it. So we have all the data in here. So let's start with all the profit data. First of all, I want to group it by folder. And I want to create a folder, and that is called profit. So just to get all the profit information in one folder so that it's easy for me to collect the data. So the first thing, I want to get the current year and the previous year. I want to compare this year with previous year, or the latest year what we have in the dataset to the previous year. So I'm creating some helpers. That's the current year, past year, and if we really need to, the first year as well. So let's create a calculated field, and let's call it current year. So to get the current year, I want a level of detail expression. That's really to log it in. So no matter what filter I'm using in Tableau, I'm always getting the max year in this scenario. So let's do max year, and then from the order date. So this should give us the max year of current year. So that should be 2017. I've added this to the helpers, and this should be a string. So change data type to string, to a dimension. Sorry, I should do it that way. And now we can see that 2017 is the final one. So we want to create a previous year. So not current year, so current year is 2017, so we want 2016 as well. So we duplicate this one, edit, and let's call it PY, so from previous year. And we use exactly the same level of detail expression, but then a -1 at the end. So we say get the final year and then take one off. So that this is what you can do with if you want to go further down the road to see what happened 5 years ago, for example. So we apply this one. And if it's right, we should get 2016. So we now have 2016 and 2017, previous year and current year. So these are the helpers that I want to create to make the rest of my calculations a little bit easier. So let's do the current year profits. And let's do if year, it's order date equals to CY, so the current year that we calculated. Then we want the profits. And so now we should get from the current year, we should get the profits. I didn't want to do it that way, but we have all the profits of the current year. Let's drag this into the profits here. So there we have it. So that's 93,439 for 2017 as profit. So profit is of course a dimension as a number currency. So since I'm in Ireland, it will be an euro sign. And now we want to do this same for the previous year. So we can duplicate this one. Go to edit, change it to previous year profits, and then only you have to change is this PY, and now we have it. That's the previous year profits. So let's add that one to it, and let's do that. So previous year, current year. So what happens now is we only selected the sales out of that year. So if we have all the order dates, now we can see, let's do it this way. So 2014, 2015, that remains empty because we don't have them calculated. But we only have calculated 2016 and 2017. So you see where we're going with this. We can create calculations based on these two numbers. That's exactly what we're going to do now. Let's clear the KPI field. And we want to do a comparison between each other. So let's do a, let's call it diff profit PY PY. So just to make it clear for ourselves what we are actually looking at here. So I want the sum of the CY profit minus the sum of the PY profits. So now we're just getting the difference between each other. So once again, if we are going to look at what the data says there, it's 11,644. This one again is a number format as in a currency. So we make that a nice currency format. So that is the the profit difference in actual numbers. So let's do this similar to a different diff profits CY PY and in percentage. So that's slightly different that we have to do there. So first we have to calculate the sum of the CY profits. Then we take away the PY, the sum of the PY profits. We subtract that, and out of that we divide it by the PY profits, the sum of the PY profits, of course. So what it does there, it's calculating the percentage difference. I get an error, and that's because of this one here. Sorry for that. There we go. So we have the difference profits as well. So they are a little bit longer now. So if I do this, I get 0.1424. And this is of course a percentage. So we want to say the percentage. So 14.24 is the difference. So we have almost everything completed what we have. What I want to do is I want to create two labels. An arrow for positive and an arrow for negative. So let's do that straight away. So, sorry, my voice goes away a little bit. Yes, there we go. So profit CY. If you see me looking through the other screen, that's why I have it all written down, because I don't know everything out of my head, of course. So POS positive symbol. So profit CY POS symbol. What we do there, if we don't need an opening bracket, so if diff profit CY PY is equal, or no, let's do more than 0. Sorry for my throat again. Then I want an arrow upwards, and if it's not, then I just want it empty. I don't want to return anything if it is not more than 0. So that is the symbol for positive, but we can do similar to negative. So let's create this one, symbol negative, and let's get the arrow in there going downwards. So down means it's a negative number, it's less than what it was last year. That's the idea what I want to highlight there. So we have quite a few calculations done. So first of all, we created some helpers just to give us an ID or give us a calculation that we can reuse. So what we did there is a level of detail expression to get the max of the year in order date. So the latest year in order date, that's what we use as current year. You can use this as parameters as well in your own dashboards, but a fixed level of detail expression might make more sense. So that's the max year. We did the same for previous year. So previous year is of course exactly the same, but then 1 year less. So max year -1. And then we created the profits for this year. So we are looking at if the order date is current year, so everything in 2017 is profit, is current year, then we collect the profit. And we did that for the previous year as well. And you see that we have everything nicely organized in a folder so that we can easily get that into our KPI. So everything what we see here will be used in a KPI, or majority of them will be used in a KPI. So let's start with building the KPI. So let's do that. Let's get the year, let's get the profit. So the sum profit, not the profit, sorry, the current year profit. That's 93k. So let's start making this nice already straight away. So let's do profits. Let's make it a little bit bigger. Let's do 18 bold and underscore. There we go. And let's change this to entire view. So it's all the way over there at the moment. That is fine. Let's format that. Sorry, that's the wrong button. Let's format that for you. Hey, format. So that it's in the center. There we go. That's in the center. That's in the center. All in the center for us. So we have the profits 2017. That is 93439. 93,439. So let's make this a little bit bold and make it big, right? So the profits, we can make it a little bit smaller, probably 16. Yeah, that's fine, that's fine. So now we have one KPI. So that's the final profits of this year or the current year. So we can add this one. So that's 14.24%. Positive symbol or negative symbol. So we want them both. Negative symbol, I see I have something wrong because there's an arrow down. I can show you quickly what that does. And let's do that, right? So we have quite a few data in there. So we want to have the percentage, what the percentage difference is. But I want the percentage difference after the positive or negative arrows. So now you can see it's positive, negative arrow, and then the percentage. And then we have the year at the end. That's for a reason. So we want to have positive as green, negative as red. There we go. And the percentage sign versus 2016. So there we go. That's our KPI number, big number. So we have 14%, 2016. We have the 2017 there, 93,000. But we still have an error with the arrows. So there's something with the negative because I know it's positive. And of course, we duplicated the calculation, but we didn't change it to less than. And there we go. So if we change it to less than, it disappears. And because of the symbols, how we use the else statement with an empty string, it removes it completely from the view. So there we have it. This is our KPI that we can incorporate in our dashboards. So it's very simple to replicate this into the sales, into the amount of discounts we provided. So it's really to show you how did we look at the previous year to this year. Now, of course, this works with the filters. So let's have a region filter, for example. And we can say in our dashboard, we only want to see the region central. And in your dashboard, of course, you will have a good view of which region you have selected, etc., etc. We can look into that one later. But first of all, this is how you create a nice KPI dashboard or KPI calculation to look at the previous year compared to the current year to see what's going on and what the differences are between each other. Very good. That's actually everything what I wanted to show you in this one. If you enjoyed this video, if you learned something new, leave a like, comment if you have any questions or any requests for the future in Tableau, R or Excel. Let me know in the comments. Subscribe, of course, because that will help my channel drastically. Thank you so much.